And much like the last series, we're just going to jump in full throttle here. Moving back over to Shanghai and moving to a better scenario, or rather a different city, of FPX taking on SinoDragon. Welcome back to the LPL.
People are wondering who got the MVP immediately for the last one. Of course, getting the Kalista right there. Boom, boom,
He
boom,
deserved
boom.
it. That Zach was exceptional. That was such a great game from him. 12 assists. Man is insane.
Of course. I mean, he was emotional about it for good reason. It was a great performance from him. And on top of that, he gets to show that to the community after all the last few games that are coming through.
So emotional, yeah. It actually really surprised me how much that game meant to RNG.
Well, it meant a lot to Karsa in particular because if he's that type of player. But let's move on to the next one.
Let's do it, Raz.
Sights to behold for the next series, FPX and SinoDragons. And yes, that is a Cassiopeia. Boom. And that's a Vel'Koz on the left. So that's a counter pick of Vel'Koz into the Cassiopeia. It's very natural. We get to see that a lot. In the LCK, a lot of the times whenever you see a Cassiopeia, you try and outrange it. So I want to see how you get to see if SinoDragons can make the best of it.
Yeah, not too surprised, especially since Doinb has been going through, I think, 12 champions he's on. I don't know if this is his 13th or not, but Doinb is insane at the moment. FPX versus SinoDragon, just to get you up to speed, this is such an important matchup for both teams once again. Playoff implications are there. FPX want to secure themselves up with TOP and look towards the safety net of playoffs itself. But SinoDragon are not safe yet. They're fighting between a couple of different teams like WE, V5, of course Suning as well, to secure the 8th spot on demand. This series gives us a better answer of where SinoDragon are going to sit. Okay. Well, we are back in home court, of course. FPX and SinoDragon downstairs in Hangzhou. We'll see. This is a series that could get quickly out of hand. Of course, you're looking at the runes and what's taken on the Vel'Koz, because we do not see Vel'Koz mid these days, or really at all in any region.
Really, it just comes down to the flexibility of the mid laners. Doinb has been a person with so many unique champion picks.
Yep.
He doesn't play the meta. So if we're just talking about the Zoes and LeBlancs, he doesn't touch that. Hasn't played a single one this time around this split. But if we look towards Twila, my God, he's going across the board. So I love the fact that we're seeing both of them just go so deep into the counter pick pool.
Oh, this is an early
Gala.
spicy matchup here. LWX finds himself Halo Blades on 2. Mark gets pushed out a little bit more as well.
He has to run the long way around.
He
loses
the
out
first
3.
front.
Yeah, exactly. 3 CS, 3 experience, which means you also lose the level 2. That's a lot of free damage there.
Oh, same with Mark.
And that's Halo Blades for you. If you think about like Kalista's early attack speed, it's very low. But with Halo Blades, suddenly the attacks that you were able to levy, the trades that you have are really strong. So right off the back, I mean, coming into the lane, Vayne and Alistar gets pushed away.
Yep. Talk to me a little bit about this composition though, Raz, because for SinoDragon, seeing the Vel'Koz in the mix as we look at a bit more vertical jungling. Maybe I'll hold you on that in a little second as Doinb might get shoved out to the right-hand side, but Vel'Koz in the mix here with the composition of SinoDragon. Seems like different objectives.
Yeah, for SinoDragons, if you're just talking about like what does this comp give you, it's that late game damage, man. It's the Vel'Koz, the Vladimir, the Vayne. That's the triple Vs that you need to hear. If we're talking about victory, yeah, that's what I need to see. So it's going to get pushed in really early on, and that's what you would expect. It's on FPX to try and take a barrel.
And they're doing exactly that. 10 into the bottom lane, Ignite down onto Galio as well. Sonic Wave resonating strike, taken away. First blood over to Tian. Mark now caught out between a bear and whatever that thing is. Actually, Galio is a statue, but Tian now finally hits him out. The cow goes down. That's some tasty beef jerky.
Perfectly executed. The damage was coming there from LWX. Lee Sin starts it out because he has the best way to be able to disengage. So really well played. It reminds me of SOFM. SOFM has done this with the Lee Sin in the past, going for super early dives bottom lane because they can get the wave built up super large. And look at how much CS you're losing. 21-2.
Holy moly.
21-2.
I'm sitting here gawking at that because of how he got pushed out of lane before. Tian's still here.
That's a go next, my friend, please.
Gala and Mark. Gala's level 1, now level 2. Takes a spear to the face. Get rendered.
All right, at least they will keep their mentality intact.
And get about 7 more CS.
My mentality would be boom.
That's very rough.
Here comes the top lane.
Yeah, a bit of a top lane gank while we're looking at bottom. Flash burned out, it seems, there by Gimgoon.
Okay, at least there was a response there. Now, going back to what the composition for FPX is supposed to provide, it's great, you know, run you down. The Irelia ultimate with a 90% slow is great to be able to just dive into the backline, but also just slow people down and create space for your AD carry. In this case, LWX will be hopping around. And then Miasma, whenever we see a Cassiopeia, Miasma does so well for any hyper carry, for a Kog'Maw, like Jinx, just so they can freely walk up with Miasma so you can time it really well.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of space being created with the Galio and Cassiopeia. And the Kalista, I think, is just great mid-game damage around objectives. So expect what FPX have to offer to be super focused on Dragons, Baron. That's a lot of Baron damage, and this is going to be a lot of damage on Twila.
Early roam. Twila's not level 6, so you can't see the disintegration ray into effect. He'll be level 5 as well. Xiaopeng trying to counter gank.
But you saw how quickly he was able to get the 5 stacks on his Conquerors, and that's what's important. If you ask yourself why Conquerors work so well on Lee Sin, so many abilities that he can just throw out there. The extra attack speed in his passive, so he can get the 5 stacks early, and then for the rest of it, he's a great bursting champion. Then 10% of that damage turns into true damage. Heals him back up in skirmishes. Same goes to Jarvin, but here comes Doinb and now bottom lane die.
Yeah, Doinb pushes up the wave. This is why we see the ghost for this roam. Will it be procced on down?
No.
Xiaopeng's down here. Miasma's down. At least negating that. That's a good rotation there from Xiaopeng.
Yeah, he needed to do that. He knew that his bottom lane was just that far behind. At least they got to that 20 CS mark. 45 to 20.
Does Twila want to be here? Doinb only level 5, so that'll be a yes.
Wants to hurt him a little bit and also just zone him away from the wave. If Doinb loses out that cannon minion, it's nice.
Level 5 versus level 6. Doinb wins.
So at least Vel'Koz got his goal, you know?
Yeah,
Doinb doesn't get the cannon minion, but I need to go back. I need to go home. Everything hurts.
Well, Doinb, after forcing him out, does hit level 6 as well. And you saw Twila actually stays. This could be harder than you think there. Xiaopeng somewhere in the middle. Maybe he hits mid, but Doinb's backing away in the end.
At least SinoDragon's defensive composition is starting to pay off. Like, 2 kills early on is exactly what you don't want.
Yep.
But able to come back bottom lane, Xiaopeng protects his bottom side of the map. Now my fear is that they need to extend themselves outwards. If this Infernal Dragon goes down, and the next dragon is an Infernal Dragon, that is so sad for SinoDragon.
Oh boy. Doinb forcing away Xiaopeng means it's pretty much confirmed here. Over the wall, Hex Flash Mark not going to commit fully. Sonic Wave, Resonating Strike, there's a smite. Infernal into Mountain.
That's still pretty big.
Still pretty big.
So now FPX's composition, completely focused on getting these neutral objectives, can start to pull SinoDragons out.
Yep.
SinoDragons can't just play a stay underneath turret and farm comp, where Vayne's going to get the 2 items. Vel'Koz, I mean, he's going to be doing all right, but I think it's less about Vel'Koz, more about the Vladimir, who's going to get pushed in, but will have 3 items to be able to challenge. Once he gets Rabadon's death cap, it's super easy for him to join fights, but as it stands, if the game starts to get accelerated, and SinoDragons have to start, you know, poking their heads out into the river to start, contesting these objectives. That's exactly what you don't want, and that's what starts these bad fights.
For FPX right now, look, as soon as these fights come into fruition, again, take a look at the bottom lane, pointing this out, because even though the Vayne in Gala has been able to catch up, still 25 CS behind. That's a Cutlass, so item spikes there, at least for FPX's bottom lane. Doinb still pushing out this wave, looking towards the bottom side. Very intuitive of FPX. They always do this. Push out the mid wave, look for blue, look for bottom lane, look for vision control in the river.
That's why every time FPX has gone up against Invictus Gaming, RNG, like those top tier teams, they challenge them in the mid lane.
Yeah.
They try and go towards the mid lane early to protect their side lanes from this. Because this is infuriating. And what can you do if the Cassiopeia is constantly trying to roam to you?
Tian sacrificing CS to give LWX more of a lead. Bottom lane forced out. They're going mid at 8 minutes in the game. They just want something. Gala's not even level 6.
This will usually push FPX to a decision of defending mid lane turret. If you try and chip down mid lane, turret plating and all of that.
Yeah.
So that's a fine trade. But the fact that they're put in that position to now leech experience away from Twila is sad.
They need to roam up to the top lane to get something, but first turret is already gone. This, more than infuriating, Raz. This
that's a lot of gold.
Makes you so darn angry. Doinb might be caught out, though. Maybe caught out of position the wrong side, but Ghost is popped immediately. Twila with the DPS coming through. Twin Fang after Twin Fang. Doinb at least forces him out. Xiaopeng forced to respond. Twin Fang mastery there, by the way, as well, Raz from Doinb.
Yeah, I mean, who's really cut out there, right? You never know when you're going up against the Cassiopeia if she ends up getting that poison and can just track you down with the Twin Fang. So, just great skirmishing overall from Doinb to push himself out.
Well, we do have a bit of a lull. Oh, we're not going to have that, are we? Tian.
Hit him!
Go for the Crux instead.
He doesn't see him.
Tian's everywhere across the map. He's a nuisance to not only the bottom lane, but the top lane as well.
Oh no, just
wait,
leave him
this is
alone!
the bottom lane. Chris, Gimgoon, still pressuring them out. Gala and Mark cannot shove up this wave. And it continues again.
This is sad. They try and leave the lane and say, okay, let's 2v1. I'll deal with Irelia. Is that okay?
The lane follows them.
It's like some sad Mr. X. You know, you feel like you've gotten away from him, and they're like, no, we're literally, the game is where you are currently. You are the game.
You love Mr. X.
I do.
It's
I
like
make a lot of references.
Third time you brought up Mr. X.
Every time. But the main audience, we got a lot of people here. Not a lot of people would know that I just keep going back to it.
Yeah, okay. Healthy rotation.
I've been streaming that game, you know, a while back, and then I stopped playing because I haven't even gotten to the Mr. X part. I'm just scared lifeless by literally everything else.
That'd be fair. Oh, hang on. Right. Get out of here. I tell you, it's going to continue his back anyway. Level 6 on the least hit. Now, in the state of this game, you go, all right, SinoDragon, get that late game. Let's go. Well, Vayne's going to be behind. The Vel'Koz getting forced out of lane, but still
behind.
Okay in the mid lane, considering everything for Doinb.
It's a good call behind. It's a good call from LWX to stick around here.
Yep.
Just play it safe while his support comes over. If you've seen the last series, whenever you try and overplay your cards and you don't have the members there will be teams that will try and stop you.
Yep.
And SinoDragons has been that type of team. They were able to upset TOP. A lot of people were surprised by that. And a lot of it was down to the IQ that, oh my god.
Hey, that's a flash petrifying gaze. Chris is going to follow up, pulls the flash out of Twila. Flash in the mid lane.
All right. I mean, Doinb lost his flash. But at least Chris was able to keep his own while getting Twila's off. So now FPX will start focusing on Rip Trail, go top lane. Try and focus on these objectives because they have the timer on Twila if he ends up rotating.
Back around, come back to the mid lane. Still doesn't have the first item. Cassiopeia stacking up the tier this game as well, of course. Lost chapter in inventory as well. Xiaopeng still hasn't been active on this map. Just been trying to farm up a storm. Has a small lead in front of Tian.
He's also trying to keep his lane safe. You know, he's getting the most experience in CS while at the same time hovering over the lanes. Now he's in a bad spot. I suppose he's trying to help out the Vladimir and respond, but you do not want to try and trade sides versus a Rift Herald.
Yep. What you're going to get out of this is a trade of dragons. Mountain Dragon sitting down there, so Xiaopeng needs to start that off, and he has. Pretty obvious here to FPX. Top turret's going to go down. Full turret plating again to the Kalista. Look at that.
Oh my god.
Holy.
800, 900 on both sides of the map.
That is 3,000 gold for the Kalista in the
early
game. 3,000 gold lead at 12 minutes, Raz. Look at the top. There's
would be
4K.
really unlucky if Xiaopeng re-rolled into an Infernal Dragon. Before we get into that one, let's just see if Gala can survive.
Oh, that's a good flash there. Gala can't get the contem off in time. Chris still taking underneath the turret. Here comes Fate's Call right into the face of Gala. No, into the support instead. Bopped on back, bit miscoordinated as he gets pulverized up. He can't escape. Chris now on top of the Vayne, but there's the silver ball's going to come through. It should. SinoDragon have the angle here. Chris is just going to be left for dead. Good night, sweet prince. SinoDragon get one. Cataclysm forward as well, but remember LWX doesn't have any mana to follow this up.
That's a Kalista, but at least you got the flash from Tian. So there is that one. And you know that whole feels bad if the next one's going to be re-rolled into an Infernal Dragon? Where's Infernal? Yeah. The reason why that's bad is because that was just supposed to be, you know, an honest trade. Xiaopeng gets Dragon on the bottom side of the map. You can get whatever you want top side.
Yep.
But inevitably, FPX are going to be going back bottom side of the map. They're going to get the pressure on both mid and bot lane with a great objective-focused comp. And now they have the chance of getting a double Infernal.
At least it was slowed down there by SinoDragon, but you're right, the Infernal Dragon's going to hurt even more. This play burnt a little bit, though, for FPX.
Great turn from Gala, because for him to be able to get the cleanse into Condemn, he actually spent a lot of time to be able to now push the rest back. Chris ends up dying for this, and this was a great hope for SinoDragons. It reminded me of Splice a little bit, where they pick complete scaling and hope for a mistake from the enemy team. They try to get as much as possible. Thankfully, FPX only escaped with one loss, so it wasn't that big of a throw.
It's working out for Spice, why not? SinoDragon's still behind 3,000 gold though. LPX doesn't look like he wants to stop anytime soon. 50 CS ahead. About half an item ahead as well.
Yeah.
So that's going to keep happening. Doinb should be going back now and getting either Morello or, not Morello, excuse me. That lost chapter into a losing Zeko, or maybe we see the Seraph's Embrace, no, excuse me. Keep forgetting that's to build into it.
It's funny because so many mid laners do go up towards Luden Zeko, so usually you can make that guess. You could say, oh, that's a lost chapter and a Luden Zeko.
Snake Lady.
But then when the Snake Lady comes out, it's a different call. And Rise. We're seeing
And
more
Rise.
of them.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
That into Dead Man's, Righteous Glory.
Righteous Glory, yeah.
I mean, Dead Man's Plate at this point, I feel like is very valid.
So help me God, if Doinb picks up Dead Man's Plate Rise in the next game, I'm done.
He's going Archangels first here with the Cassiopeia. I wouldn't be surprised if we changed the secondary item. Leandries, not Leandries. Rylai's.
Your names are not, that's fine.
I mean, that is actually
There's
fine
actually,
for a
there's
third or
literally
fourth item.
nothing you can do wrong for Cassiopeia because there's so many items built that she's ended up going through.
Yep.
I think the only wrong would be a Rod of Ages. That would be wrong.
Okay,
That'd
well,
be incorrect.
I feel like it's a little bit late. Actually, might not be.
Randuin's Omen. Anyways, we'll see if we end up getting to that point, but for now, there's just a lot of great pressure from FPX topside.
Yep. Able to push the Sara down. More gold over to Doinb. 10 shares in the spoils here. Gala left in front of his inhibitor turret.
That was such a deep push too. Pushing that wave right into the inhibitor tower means that they can swap sides, now going for mid lane, get bottom lane pushed out. They have set themselves up so well to be able to take mid lane tower and look for Dragon when it comes up in about a minute and a half.
Everyone's so scared of LWX. Able to hop around this turret, get it to half. Dragon, as you said, coming up in 1 minute 30.
That's a lot of gold that turret plating was able to give them, 1,600.
Wow.
And a good portion of that was on Kalista. In fact, I'm going to say it's all on Kalista.
Hang on. Doinb, 3 levels ahead of Gala, waiting for the petrifying gaze. Gala faces him like a man, but unfortunately dies.
Look, you can duck and dodge all you want. He was doing well for about 2 seconds. And then you look at the Snake Lady.
And Medusa strikes you down. You've seen it. You see what happens. That's the first kill there for Doinb in this game. Picks himself up a gold bounty as well, and Gala gets bullied once more.
I was just looking to check if the cleanse was available on that one. But anyways, guess it wasn't. Just taking a look at this. Oh, where are you looking?
Well, Mark, over the wall.
I was
Doinb.
ready for it.
Yeah, why not? At this point for SinoDragon, still playing it safe to the chest. Of course, you have to. 5,000 gold lead here for FPX. That Infernal we talked about, but Tian might not be alive for it. He's just been caught out. Disintegration Ray with the Cataclysm down for SDG.
Well, that's a mistake. And remember, those mistakes are costly. You're going up against a pretty hefty scaling composition that has range on you. So if FPX are saying our scaling is Cassiopeia, well, how is she going to get into the fight if you're dealing with a Vladimir flank that comes through, Twila opening up the fight with his own ultimate? So there's a lot to be afraid of to begin with.
Remember, even though Gala's been bullied this game, that Vladimir has had a pretty good laning phase, and we'll get to see this one firsthand.
Oh, and we're coming. I don't even know what kind of camera this is. This is not the helicopter camera that we're used to. This is just a cameraman right beside you.
Man. This is like the GoPro on the back of the tail.
It's GoPro on probably on one of the minions following up. Action right there.
Oh, absolutely.
Ah!
I'm not sure if that happened to everyone else.
Where am I?
But we flash back to reality.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to see if that one went on the stream. Either way, SinoDragon's getting pressure back top lane, all because of the first kill on towards Tian.
Yeah, getting the top lane turret. All right, breaking it wide open. Infernal up next. It did happen on stream, we can confirm.
Yeah,
so
it definitely
welcome.
did.
Lights out, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's going to happen in this game.
Oh, they're right
on
at Gala.
Goes ahead. There's a flash. Doppelman taunt. Gala might die here. Vanguard's Edge did everything in that quick engage. Even the Fates call up. Get rendered, baby. But it will go over to Gimgoon in the end as well. 2 quick kills. Doinb in the bottom side. Infernal taken away by FPX2.
This feels bad for Vayne in particular. That's 1-3-0, and 2 of those deaths happened side by side. Dying to the Cassiopeia when she was top lane, you come right back out and you die to the Irelia who just jumps right on top of your face, so that's a little sad.
Now he's still got a threat with it. Doinb in the bottom side of the map as well. Hextech GLP for Twila is not going to save him. It is not up as well. Remember, it's such a long cooldown on that item. They'll get the turret too. FPX, this is just free money in the bank.
Look, this is just hilarious. An entire I didn't like it when Splice did it. I'm not going to like it now. I'm sorry, if your name's not Misfits, this ain't working on you. This ain't working.
That's a fair point. Raz, again, Vanguard's Edge.
What do you even say about Gala just getting jumped on by the Irelia? I mean, there's not much to say about that one. At the same time, I guess Cassiopeia was pushing up bottom lane tower.
Yeah.
There's just so much happening on the side of FPX with SinoDragon's not able to respond. If you look at the items right now, Jarvin has found himself in a place where the way that they come back into it is through that engage that he has, and so he has a Guardian Angel super early on, still has boots on his feet. I mean, bags on his feet.
Yeah, sorry.
You go boots.
Potato sacks, yeah.
So it's a sad situation where Jarvin's going full econ to at least keep them in it early.
He's been stuck in his jungle for a while. He now impeaches himself back out again. Crisp at half health, but the re-engage comes in from Tian. This is the person you need to watch. The Lee-Sin, can he get the kick as LWX falling forward? Look at Kalista hopping. Twila just gets deleted before he can even get to play the game. Xiaopeng back on in, but was this the right move? Raz says no. I think we'd agree with him here. SinoDragon lose 3 more.
Guess what's happening in about 9 seconds time? You look at your watch, and coming out is the friendly neighbor, Purple Worm.
Oh, yeah.
That's a sad timing there for SinoDragon.
This is like the Purge. Murder's okay for this one night. And the Purple Worm's going to get murdered down at 20 minutes in the game. SinoDragon, the trade-off, mid lane turret. All right, well.
Okay, you get something. Oh, will you even get something?
Doinb's coming in. Doesn't have flash available.
What do you guys think you're doing?
Can't catch him up in time. If he had the Ghost, very different story. Same with the Petrifying Gaze, but there it goes. Baron buff. Not Dan Gaming style, but close enough.
There's just so much wrong happening on the side of SinoDragons where they couldn't do anything to begin with. Cassiopeia was pushing on the bottom lane, free of charge. The only pressure on the map was the Vayne on the top side gets caught out. This was another chance where SinoDragon's going for a full engage when in reality, FPX were there for the push. They already had the minions cleared out both mid lane and top side. So they can come in and you see Doinb just flashing right in there to get the kill.
LWX took 0 damage from Twila's ultimate.
Yeah.
The only true damage that came through that did a little bit, but I think he healed in that engage still. LWX absolutely unscathed. And so are FPX in this very first game. Good testament to how this team's playing in the spring split. Now we've just got these expectations that FPX, you know, top 3 team as they've been playing out.
This is just a test to see how disciplined they are. If you fail to a composition like this, it's because you were not disciplined in how you were able to play out your early advantages. It's not as though that FPX don't have the scaling. We saw how much damage that Doinb is able to accomplish. It's just that they get outranged if they get to that point without having to close it down. Double Infernal just makes the case even harder for FPX. So remember that fear I had for the reroll for Dragon? Yeah, does not pay off. So even that one trade that Xiaopeng thought he got for his team only made it worse for him.
It really did. Let's get that next mountain rolling. Let's roll the dice again. 22 minutes just about. FPX now in the mid lane. How they close it out, whether they left Gimgoon in the side lane, running the 1-4, keeping SDG busy. The one thing about FPX right now, not too much vision that's deep in the enemy jungle. Gimgoon, if he pushes up too far, has a chance to be caught out.
Irelia can come in at a flank here, so SinoDragons have to play this one out respectfully. Easy tower being taken.
LWX at the forefront as well. Still very confident on this Kalista that's so far ahead.
And look at the top lane wave. Get pinged out because it's slowly pushing in towards SinoDragons. Right now, you can make a pretty safe assumption that SinoDragons don't have any wave pushing in their favor.
Yeah. I'd be waiting for this point where Mark finds a pick, though. Still very hopeful that FPX will be able to see it coming. Most importantly in this game, though, it's 10k gold lead. LWX. Oh, no.
Where you go?
What?
Come back here.
I'm getting flashed on.
Let me talk to you.
Away. That's why I said I was confident about FPXTian finds himself in the middle of the fight as well. Petrifying Gaze locks down the weird tentacle man. And Mark, I'm not even sure what kind of animal he is. Well, I know he's a cow, but anyway, there's 2 kills going over to FPX. A third about to come through. Changhong bleeds to death. And man, that's fresh meat all around. Let's go. Tian doesn't find it, but he won't have to.
This is one of those games where you do just look towards your coach. Every single one of those players, it's going to be the least... This is going to be the most awkward 7 minutes that they have in the back, where it's like, well, where'd we go wrong, friends? Well, they didn't make a mistake with a far superior draft.
Yep.
So we're going to have the GG next on this one.
Good testament here to FPX. We said, how would they close it out? Well, they put on the tempo, and they close this one out cleanly here. 1-0 against SDG. Playoff runs for SDG, getting scarce.
All right, next time let's put up a fight, Sino.
Let's go next. Yes.
SinoDragons, please. How about one of these lanes? Have a good look. Legitimately, there were some good picks from SinoDragons. When they went on the Vayne early top lane, she was able to cleanse, condemn, a good chase, course, Jarvin couldn't get the kill on towards either the jungler or the Kalista because she just hops out of the Cataclysm.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, we only got 1 kill. And they're taking their entire map. So something better, please.
Let's go. Look, Doinb, I mean, it was such a short game. 11k looks great. And it was. And Gala, rough game for him, Rez.
So whenever you see the Vel'Koz in the past, they've been pretty good at chase down.
Yep.
Because they would have Glacial Augment with, like, you know, a lot of the slows just being piled in with the activatables. That's what I kind of expected here. But what we saw was none of that.
We did not.
It was a good, you know, good early matchup with the range, but honestly, that wasn't the game. The game was Cassiopeia wave clearing, joining her jungler bottom lane, wave clearing, then saying, actually, you guys are good on your own, and then join later on. That was just the saddest. That's a good example for any team of why you need to either, of course, draft well to begin with, because that was disgusting. But also, number 2, be able to hit them hard in level like 2v2 mid. Because if you're going to pick and draft for the 2v2, Invictus Gaming, RNG, TOP, every one of these teams challenged them early mid because they knew that Tian and Doinb were going to be moving first.
Yeah, further to your point, the 2v2 and FPX is mid. Like, you have to be wary. We've talked about this so many times.
Yeah. Yeah. So someone didn't get the memo. So we'll have to see in the next game how they fare on that one.
We'll see how they go in game 2. Doinb was the MVP in that one. I would have argued and said maybe LWX, but everyone played well, so who cares?
39% damage percentage on the Cassiopeia.
That's
pretty nice. I would agree with you on the LWX picking it up, but I feel like at that point, just throw the coach up there, right? Warhorse should at least get his praise at some point. I think he had a great draft, and he just had to sit idly by and say, okay, thank God.
Warhorse has been drafting very well. I mean, FPX, we haven't really complimented or dissed their draft so far, but in game 2, let's see what happens, because that was an absolute slaughter, and FPX are looking great. We'll be right back.